Back in Monday, the first full week of the new Congress has been taking place. And during the select committee, the House Select Committee, you have a firestorm happening between Jasmine Crockett, the Democratic Congress lady from the district, the 30th district of Texas, and she was having a soliloquy against the Republican member of the House of Representatives by the name of Nancy Mace, whose name sounds like a cartoon character. She represents the state of South Carolina, District 1, the first district. And during this exchange over transgendered LGBTQ rights on who get to use bathrooms on the nation's capital, a firestorm ensued where Nancy Mace said, "Let's take it outside."
I don't even know how we got there because I tried to make it clear how many civil rights, it doesn't just boil down to one conversation, but I can see that somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans, trans, trans so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or
Do
not
call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those
I am 47 years
emails
old. I have broken
actually
more
have.
glass ceilings than you
Chairman,
ever
I
will.
am
Order,
reclaiming my
please. Let's go.
time.
You will not do that. I
Order.
am not a child.
Chairman,
I
I
am
am
not a
reclaiming
child.
my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not
Okay.
in order.
All right. Order.
Point of order. Point of order.
Order.
Now, if you have watched the video, I'm gonna say this to the Democrats in Congress and the Democrat Party at large. This should be the opportunity of y'all to fight back. Big J, what you talking about? Because Nancy Mance made a threat of some sorts of taking it outside, like as if, taking it outside means let's box outside, right? And then let me digress for a minute. Then you got the head member of the committee try to act like he didn't know what Congresswoman Mance means by taking it outside. Trying to do this. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Trying to act like he don't know what he trying to play dumb and act like he didn't know what old girl meant when he exactly know what take it outside means.
All right. The chair's going to make a rule. What the gentlelady said was, we can take this outside if you want. And
Okay, so
that could mean you could go outside and have a cup of coffee or perhaps a beer, or we have
seriously,
Mr.
lots of
Chairman?
conversations outside. So I'm going to rule that it was just
that it's okay.
that it's okay.
All right, and then point of inquiry.
And remember, this is a slippery slope you're going down, because we have.
Oh, you're
disagreements
going
in
down
this
the
committee,
slippery
as you
slope.
know.
So just to be clear, in this committee, we can ask we can
Apparently.
threaten violence on someone as long as
no,
at
that's
the
not-
end. Excuse me.
I did not threaten violence.
Excuse me.
I threatened no
Excuse me.
violence.
There was no
I threatened no
violence.
violence.
There was no violence.
As long
no
as
violence.
at the end.
Don't create a
I
false
threatened
add a
no
question.
violence.
That was
None.
no
None.
other
You're
person.
making shit up as
It's
you
good
go
to know.
along. You
Good
might
to
want
know.
to figure this one out.
Order. There was
Mr.
no
I thought you were
Chairman.
cursing today.
No violence.
Mr. Chairman,
No violence.
I'm going to appeal the ruling of the chair.
Mr. Chairman,
I'm gonna
Chairman, I have
appeal the ruling of
a
the
point of
chair.
inquiry.
State
And I
your
apologize
point.
because I had a meeting and came right down. Is it true that Ms. Mace was belittled by being called a child? Is that against our rules?
I would have to look up the rules. I don't know that it's
I'd like to
specifically in
appeal
the
the
rules.
word
We
for it.
asked for
Well,
proper decorum.
can we strike it then? I'd like to have it stricken.
Okay.
I'd have Ms. Crockett's word stricken then.
There's a motion. You have a motion, Mr. Frost?
I move to appeal the ruling of the chair.
Now, this was the other way around because Jasmine Crockett is a African American woman, and since I'm gonna say this right now, black women are going to be the target. Black women are going to be the target for the next 4 years, at least. Politically, socially, the African American woman is going to be a target from the alt-right, from the and I'm not saying it to pander. I'm telling you the truth. This is what's about to happen. So I think though, if the Democrat Party got any balls, any guts, any gumption, anything that has some fortitude, y'all might want to seek expulsion of Nancy Mace. And y'all can do it right now. Even if you lose, you'll send a message. Y'all only got what? 49% of the House of Representatives. Only thing y'all can do is at least gain, with half of the vote almost, y'all could at least send a strong message. But here's what it says in the United States Constitution, right? I'm going to read you the United States Constitution as it follows on from Article 1, Section 5, Clause 2, which reads, each house may determine the rules of its proceedings, punish its members for disorderly behavior, and with the concurrence of 2/3, expel a member. This is a proper, if y'all got some guts, since y'all in the last 4 days, within the last week of the Biden-Harris administration, because we know what's going to happen next Monday. Within the next 4 days, y'all might hurry up and seek seek expulsion of Miss Nancy Mace from her congressional seat and force her to run for it again. That's what y'all need to start doing. Y'all need to start having some guts. The Democratic Party need to have some guts on that regard. Now, I know I'm not done yet, right? I'm not done yet. The topic what they was debating about, I have a problem with.
Mr. Donalds, to limit debate to 15 minutes. Ms. Crockett will get her remaining 4 minutes, and then each side will have 7.5 additional minutes if necessary. So the chair recognizes Ms. Crockett for the remainder of her 4 minutes that don't count towards the limit to debate. Then from there on, if there's further requests for debate, there'll be 7.5 minutes each time. Chair recognizes Ms. Crockett for her remaining 4 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The final points that I was going to make is while this amendment has to do with civil rights, for whatever reason, the colleague on the other side of the aisle decided to attack Democrats and pretend as if we do not look out for women. And I want to be clear that it's Democrats that were pushing for the Equal Rights Amendment, and I don't recall any Republicans supporting us having the Equal Rights Amendment. I also want to make it clear that just because someone fantasizes or wants to be dramatic about the idea of someone could be a quote unquote man in a locker room or in a bathroom, I've yet to hear an actual testimony of someone who, for whatever reason, has experienced this in real time. But I can tell you some real numbers and some real facts, because I don't like to live in fantasy when I'm talking about how I'm going to govern for the American people. The facts are, in my state alone, in the state of Texas, once they decided that they were going to overturn the Roe decision, 26,000 women then ended up raped. 26,000 is what we had reported. And that was only within about a year's time span. And when they reported those rapes, none of them seemed to have anything to do with trans folk. And I don't recall any legislation to help out those women in Texas and beyond that are actually dying. We're not projecting may die, but are actually dying or have died in southern states that have decided that they wanted to go after our reproductive freedom. So as a woman in this country, as a Texan, and as a Black woman who, when we look at the numbers, and I believe in data and science, and I know that that escapes a lot of people in this chamber, but the numbers are clear that specifically Black women have always struggled when it came down to the maternal mortality rates in general. The fact that somebody who looks like me, no matter how much money they have, because I can remind you of a very wealthy tennis star that almost lost her life while trying to give birth. Some things I honestly just don't think should be partisan. And frankly, I do believe in privacy because honestly, I don't want none of y'all making decisions if I ever end up pregnant and have to decide what it takes for me to save my life. And I give the same opportunity for other women in this country to make decisions as they see fit. So while we look at how we protect women completely differently, I can tell you that at least in the 766,000 women or 766,000 constituents that I represent, I have had them come to me concerned about whether or not they could survive childbirth. But I have not had a single person in my district tell me that they were concerned that they may be raped by a trans person. So if there is an issue to solve in this country based on facts, data, and statistics, I think that we need to look at the type of health care that we are going to advance for women in this country. And with that, I will yield.
All right, gentlelady yields back. We're going to now go into the 15-minute cap.
Now, having said that, this is where I disagree with Jasmine Crockett on. Or this is where I agree with Nancy Nance on this. The Democrats always have this problem of accusing the Republicans of denying science when it comes to things like the global, the environment, the global climate change, and the woman's body and so forth, right? When it comes to reproductive rights. But what also is troubling is the hypocrisy and the politicalization of science. You cannot change, no matter how many surgeries, how many cosmetics, no matter how much, and what I'm saying, and he said this right now, this is not to be phobic of a orientation, but this well, we need to start talking in realities here. You cannot accuse the Republicans of denying science when you are denying science for political reasons. An XY chromosome determines the gender of said person. XX chromosome determines the gender or sex of said person. The difference between the XY and the XX chromosome is that the XY is determined to be male, while is a mutation of what will become a male child, versus that of XX, which is a female child. So anybody that's born with an XY cannot force themselves to become XX. Now, I know this is not politically correct in what I'm saying. This is not hate speech. This is not about hating those of that lifestyle. But can we just at least admit about what is and what isn't based upon the science of the circumstances of one's birth? I'm just saying. Anyway, Big J out. And like I said, Democrats, start growing you some balls and fight back. Because I see what's about to happen. Fight fascism for once. Stop rolling over dead.